Welcome to Ask an Editor, the podcast that helps video editors build a long-term career. I'm Jesse Kepke, a documentary and commercial editor for the last 15 years, and today we have a question from Betsy. Betsy asks, I still have a couple months left at college, then I'm hoping to land a role as a runner or assistant editor in film and TV. It's hard to know who to contact, though, and how to get into the industry. Betsy, I love that you are thinking about this ahead of time. Most projects take a few months to spin up, and so it's better to be early than late. I will say this, every genre of editing will have its own particulars about getting a job and who you talk to, where you apply, things like that. But there are going to be some commonalities that are helpful no matter what genre you're trying to get into. So how do you get started? If you're starting your editing career, you need to focus on two things. Number one, your skills, and number two, your attitude. At a base level, you need the technical skills to be able to do the job. So if you're going to be getting into film and television, you'll most likely need to know some of Avid, some of Premiere. That'll be helpful. Knowing basics such as organization, transcoding, syncing video and audio, staying organized, QCing exports. All these are going to be basic requirements for an entry-level editing job. It's also important to remember that editing is a relational career. You're going to be on a team that is going to go through sometimes really stressful times. So producers are looking for people who are going to be dependable and enjoyable to be with in the trenches. So a few key attitudes to have here are, number one, a servant's heart. Be ready to help and ready to say yes. You do need to know your boundaries because unfortunately some people will take advantage of that yes. But having a ready yes will go a long way because a yes keeps the project moving forward and a producer is looking to remove any obstacles, any friction on getting this project done on time. And if you're a person that says yes and keeps things moving forward, that's going to be huge. You also need to have a humble attitude. Be willing to learn. Be willing to admit when you don't know something. This can be tricky because it feels like you're admitting a weakness, but if someone says a term that you don't know, ask what they mean. That's okay. I'd rather, if I was managing, I was a manager for a few years. When I was managing, I would much rather have someone who is humble and willing to ask about something they don't know than someone who is too proud to admit that they didn't know it. While being humble, you can also be confident. That might seem like a contradiction, but if you know how to do something, do it confidently. If you're willing to tackle an issue, do it with the confidence that you're going to be able to figure it out. There's nothing better for a producer or a manager than an editor who knows what they know and can get things done. Now that you're focusing on your skills and your attitude, the question is, where do you find that work? Betsy said it can be hard to know who to contact, and that can definitely be true. So here are a few ideas. An obvious place to start are job postings. This will vary depending on your location, but you can try Mandy.com, LinkedIn, StaffMeUp.com. Search online for video editor job and see what comes up. You might need to sort through a few things, but eventually you're going to find places where it feels, this could be a good fit. Once you do, go ahead and start applying. Another option is to focus on meeting people in your area that are already in post-production. Now notice I didn't say editor and I didn't say film and TV or whatever your desired genre is. The key here is just to start meeting people. So you can do that through Facebook, Twitter, any social media platform. Do some searches, look for people who are in your area. When you do find someone, interact with them. What are they posting? Can you comment on it and start to kind of build a rapport? You could shoot them a message with something like, I really love your work. How did you get started when you first got into the industry? A lot of places will also have physical meetups. It can be intimidating to go to these since most of us are used to being behind the computer, but you can be bold, go for it, be honest that you're just starting out and looking for work. Anything to just start meeting people. It's a relational business, and even if that person isn't an editor, maybe they're a sound mixer or a colorist, they're going to know editors. Or even if they don't work in the genre you want to be in, you're still building those friendships. And over time, those friendships are going to give a lot back. So to recap, to get started in a genre of editing, make sure that you are building your skills and honing your attitude. At the same time, you can look at job posting sites and use social media to start meeting people in post-production in your area. Betsy, thank you so much for your question. If this episode helped you, consider sharing it with another editor. And if you have a question that needs answering, you can submit it at askaneditorpodcast.com. Hopefully we can answer it on the show. Thanks for listening and keep cutting.